Magia's in shambles, Tony. Without the profits from selling weapons, they'll be bankrupt soon.
I believe it. They must have spent a fortune. For some people, I guess size does matter.
Cut the crap, Tony. Look at that thing.
Let's see if they know how to use it.
Are you sure you're up for this, Tony? This isn't a game in some penny arcade.
You kidding? This is child's play.
So this version of the level may not be nearly as dramatic, but it still tries to keep the spirit of the original.
Sir, I have detected a radar jamming device. If you destroy it, you will be able to access your radar system.
So I'm gonna show off a small glitch. These enormous cannons with shields on them, if they hit us, they disrupt our systems and we can't use them properly. Like right now. But after we destroy the radar blocker, our systems go back to normal. Which shouldn't happen. When one of these cannons hits you, your systems are supposed to be fried for quite a while. But for some reason destroying the radar blocker turns them back to normal. Even though you're supposed to destroy the radar blocker before you even come up here.
Nice guns.
Sir, they are shielded. Stark hardware.
Good. There's a design flaw in those shields that we never solved. They can overload.
Okay, so you probably shouldn't put shields like this on the market if you know they can overload and be useless. But regardless, the way you overload the shields is by shooting them enough times. You shoot them 3 or 4 times and then the shield goes down permanently. This is even weirder because if anyone tries to take out your shield with energy weapons and you bought your shield from Stark Technology, well, your shield's now useless. That would probably get them a lot of bad reviews on the internet. You know, just before they die, I was fighting a civil war and my shield stopped working because someone brought laser guns. I was not informed that this would be an issue. So I'm going to show off a mechanic of this game that's actually kind of cool. If you destroy an enemy using a QuickTime event, it recharges your health completely. And I know this one is intentional because it always happens, and there's a cute little animation for it in the bottom corner. Boop. So these cannons are just as formidable as the ones in the PS3 version if they actually hit you, but they're not going to hit you.
Cannons destroyed, sir.
Okay, what next?
Sir, central data storage located. Contains fortress blueprints.
Let's get it then.
I'm not exactly sure how Jarvis knows that room contains the blueprints. In the PS3 version, there aren't too many things that he's incapable of figuring out, but we know that he has limitations in this version. But still, you know, having to actually go get the blueprints to find out where to attack the ship is pretty neat. It's just that we didn't really need Jarvis to tell us where the blueprints were, since there are only so many rooms. You also get to see the inside of the ship in this version, but the ship is also much less big and impressive on the outside. I really doubt that they could lay siege to a country or even part of a country with this thing. That might be why they didn't mention that plot point in this version. Whitney also died in the last level in this version, so we don't get that dialogue from the 7th gen version either, which is depressing, because I like that dialogue a lot.
Jarvis, analyze for weak points.
Surge protection circuits protect all reactors, sir. Circuits underneath hatches next to engines. Marking.
Now, something that's genuinely neat about this take on the level is that the way you destroy the Flying Fortress is entirely different. In the original version, you had to force them to open the reactor panels by making the reactor overheat. In this version, you're destroying the surge protectors so that way you can overload the reactor manually. Both versions make sense, and both versions are pretty cool. The only issue I have with this particular segment is that it's not difficult in the slightest. You're never in any real danger while you're trying to destroy these surge protectors. But still, you know, you're taking out a giant flying fortress from the inside, and you're doing it in a way that makes logical sense. So good job, Vicarious Visions. You made it different, but it's still cool. It's just slightly less clear why they wanted to make a Flying Fortress purchase in the first place. The PS3 Fortress was clearly made in case they had to completely abandon their factories and their home. The one in this version just seems like a temporary plan. Because, yeah, it's big and impressive, but it's nothing compared to what we just saw.
Now, sir. All circuits are now disabled.
What's the best way in? The loading bay doors?
Affirmative, sir. Control panel for bay doors in front of Fortress.
In the original version, we had to force the reactor doors to open because we couldn't just enter the fortress through a convenient doorway like this one. There just wasn't a way to enter it normally. Which is a good thing considering the function of the thing is to, you know, be a fortress. These doorways that lead directly to important control panels, they're not such a good idea.
Loading bay opening now, sir.
A power surge should end. Safeguard all internal conduits.
Yes, sir. Estimated time?
As soon as I get into that engine room.
Now, I am by no means an expert on the Iron Man suit, but I don't think you can just say safeguard the conduits and then go and overload a generator. As Jarvis is explaining right now, they're unleashing mines that are targeting civilian populations below, but the mines only take one shot, and they're kind of pitiful. But still, it's more interesting than there being nothing, right? Either way, after we destroy the giant cannon up here, as soon as I can hover my way back up, we'll be able to enter the reactor core and end this. So yeah, all things taken into account, this isn't a bad alternate take on the level in the PS3 version. It's actually pretty decent.
You did it, Tony. Maggia's finished.
Yeah, but they weren't my only buyers. There's still plenty of Stark weapons out there, and I'm gonna find them.